Good evening, everyone. Council, staff, those joining us in the council chambers, and those joining us on YouTube. I'd like to call this regular council meeting to order and would ask everyone to join council and staff in a moment of silent reflection, please. Thanks, everyone. That brings us to item 3 on the agenda, and I have a resolution moved by Councillor LaChapelle and seconded by Councillor Bumstead that the council meeting agenda for December 10th, 2025 be approved. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Item 4. Disclosure of interest. Are there any declarations at this point? Councillor Raymond, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Item 6.2.1 in the reports of various committees, and related item 14.2, which is the bylaw from said proceedings. I will not be participating in discussion or voting for either.
Thank you, Councillor. Are there any other declarations? Okay, seeing none, as we move through the agenda, should anyone recognize an interest, please state the general nature thereof and fill out the required paperwork with our clerk as soon as you're able to following this evening's meeting. That brings us to presentations and delegations. Item 5, we have Stephanie Haldane, Director of Academic Operations, Southwest Fire Academy, Camp Molly 2026 proposal. Welcome, Ms. Haldane, and just remind you to speak into the mic if you could. And the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. We good here? All right, excellent. Good evening, everybody. Mayor, council, thank you so much for having me here. My name is Stephanie Haldane. I'm here on behalf of Southwest Fire Academy, together with Tay Township Fire Department. We are together very excited to share a community initiative with you that we believe will have a meaningful and lasting impact. We are looking to team up as Southwest Fire Academy and Tay Township Fire to host a Camp Molly in the summer of 2026, but we need a little bit of help and support. So first things first, what is Camp Molly? So Camp Molly is a free 4-day camp dedicated to inspiring young female and non-binary teenagers aged 15 to 18. The goal is to introduce them to the world of firefighting and emergency services in a way that's positive, empowering, and hands-on. So participants in this camp apply to be part of the camp, and there is a selection committee that chooses the youth from our region who have an interest in learning, leadership, and community service. Camp Molly programs across Ontario have been incredibly successful at building confidence and breaking down barriers and opening doors to career paths young people may have never considered. So I do have a short video here that I will share. I'm just going to see if we can make sure that the sound comes through here with my IT specialist.
But like after coming and like getting to experience everything, it's made me feel more comfortable.
The girls here are super kind. Everyone here has the same goals of trying to explore their future and becoming a firefighter. Do it. It's like if you want to join it, join it. It'll be good and you will enjoy it. You will have fun. It has been incredible. It is so cool seeing all these young women getting education.
So the 3 mottos is be prepared to be challenged, be prepared to be empowered, and be prepared to change the way you see yourself.
participants experience, they learn things like from all the areas of the fire service. So they're introduced to things like fire suppression, auto extrication, communication, fire prevention. They work directly alongside professional firefighters from the area and surrounding who act as role models and mentors. And these activities are there to help promote challenge physically and mentally. And most participants of Camp Molly describe it as life-changing. Several of these participants have gone on to pursue pre-service fire training, as well as volunteer roles in their area because of this confidence that they gained throughout their time at the camp. So what's included in the Camp Molly experience? So a key aspect of Camp Molly is removing all the financial barriers for participants. Everything they need is provided at no cost. So they get their full PPE for the duration of the camp, lunches, snacks each day. Each camper receives a camper package that includes shirts, a bag, water bottle, name tags. All the required tools and equipment are provided. There's also a professional photographer that comes in. The campers are not allowed to carry their phones with them, so we want to make sure that their time is documented, so a photographer does that. And then a graduation ceremony at the end. Friends, family members, supporters will come to recognize the success of the campers. Our goal is to give every youth, regardless of financial background, the opportunity to participate fully and safely in this program. So cost breakdown for hosting a Camp Molly. So you can see up on the screen there, you can see sort of an itemized list there with proximate costs and descriptions. This is all provided by Camp Molly, this list here. They've been running this program for several years and across many different areas across Ontario and now into actually BC. So they've got this on lockdown. So they have a general idea. Generally, it costs about $15,000 to run a Camp Molly. That includes 35 campers and approximately 40 instructors. The instructors aren't paid, it's all volunteer, but this just covers all of the items that you see on the screen there. So the long-term plan is for Southwest Fire Academy and Tay Township Fire Department to fundraise and secure sponsorship. This is going to offset the expenses. However, to begin planning, secure instructors, start to coordinate logistics for 2026, we need an initial reliable funding commitment. And that's where you guys come in. So what we are requesting is town council support of $10,000 to ensure the Camp Molly becomes a reality. Southwest Fire Academy is willing to put up the other $5,000. However, again, the goal would be that we actually fundraise and get sponsorships. In fact, the goal would be that you wouldn't have to pay anything. We plan to do fundraisings, donations. The Camp Molly organization helps to support the hosts in regards to securing sponsorships and giving us the tools and equipment needed to help to fundraise. What's in it for you? So why would you want to get involved in this? Well, being recognized as a prime supporter of the camp, all of you would be invited to come watch the events, participate in the graduation ceremony. This is a really great opportunity to give back to the community and support growth of the Tay Fire Department. It also helps to support youth and diversity in the fire service. So next steps, if the council approves funding, the next steps would be establishing a planning committee. We'll be looking for volunteers within the surrounding area and from Tay Fire Department. We will start to begin sponsorship outreach and fundraising, which will include community fundraising, so the community will be aware that this would be something that we'd be doing. We would start setting the dates and coordinating facilities and equipment. And then the application process opens generally about 3 months prior to the camp date. And the goal would be to fill our camp with local youths to help increase the awareness of the emergency services within Tay Township. So thank you. That's all I have. I hope you will consider this, and thank you for your time. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have at this time.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Haldane. Council, any questions? Councilor Raymond and then Councilor Larmal.
Thank you, Your Worship, through the chair. Thank you. When you say campers from the area, define what the area is. Is it going to be specifically Tay or North Simcoe area, or?
Yep, that's a good question. So the posting goes out onto the website of Camp Molly. So basically anybody that goes onto the website, and we use social media, would be aware that Tay Township and Southwest Fire Academy is hosting. So applicants can come from anywhere. The selection committee will make a priority to have local youth selected first. So Tay Township would be, if people are applying from Tay Township area, they would get priority over someone from further out, Barrie as an example. So we would be looking at going into the schools in and around Tay Township. We would probably be looking at Tiny, Midland, Penetang, this sort of area first.
Right. I have a follow-up too, Your Worship, please.
Certainly.
Thank you. Follow-up. So I see as a viable recruitment program, and I'm thinking that's a positive aspect for the fire department, obviously. Do you have a minimum number? Have you established what a minimum number of campers would be for your kickoff year? And then if you don't meet that, it's just not going to go forward for that first year, or?
So, so far, no Camp Molly has ever been sort of stopped in its tracks with regards to not having enough people. So I participated as a volunteer in the Wasaga Beach Camp Molly this past year. They had 30 campers. So the maximum that they would take would be 35. That just gives a nice number for making sure that everybody gets lots of hands-on time. But if we only had 25 applicants, we would still run the program. We would probably expand our pool of selection to bring more people in. I think the great thing about Southwest Fire Academy is we do have on-site accommodation. So if we are looking to bring other people in, then there would possibly be that ability for them to stay.
So, final part of the follow-up. So if we only, if only 5 people from the local area applied,
Yeah.
but you had resource to access 25 other people from outside the area, you would actually encourage those 25 to participate? So that
Yes.
you get your minimum 30?
Yeah, yep. So the program focuses on the area, and obviously we want the youth that are from this area, but an example would be in the Wasaga Beach, there was a young lady from the Durham region, but she was I was part of the selection committee. She was selected last on the list. It all became a focus for the area.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Your
welcome.
Worship.
Thank you, Councilor Raymond. Councilor Larmal, please.
Thank you, through the chair. Couple of questions. So how many Camp Mollies are there, and what kind of track record do they have, and where do the volunteers come from? Are they firefighters?
So last year, I believe they ran 8 Camp Mollies, but I could be off by 1 or 2. They did them in the surrounding area. So I actually participated in the Wasaga one, as well as Aurelia and Oro Medonte teamed up. Lake of Bays, no, that's not correct. Oro teamed up and ran a Camp Molly. They are very successful. They've become, since their inception, they've become much more popular. It's becoming well aware. We have got campers who apply to several camps. We get returning campers because people have such a great experience with it. Track record, in what capacity would you be wondering about that?
Sorry, like how many years has it been in existence, and how full are the different academies?
Yep. I believe it's been 5 or 6 years at this point since it was established. So Monique Belair is the president of Camp Molly. So she's former chief of Kingston Fire and Belleville Fire. So she started this out of the need of wanting to bring fire to females and non-binary and youth. For the most part, in the camps that I've seen and heard, you're looking at 30 to 35 youth participating. And I don't know if I missed one of your other questions.
Sorry, actually, yeah, the volunteers, are they firefighters?
Oh, yes. So yes, volunteers include active firefighters, full-time volunteer firefighters, also pre-service graduate students. So Southwest Fire Academy students could also volunteer. We try to get volunteers that are from the area as sort of first. Camp Molly also has a board of directors and a set of sort of established volunteers that come and help support. So we would be working very closely together with the board, the Camp Molly board, to help run the program. It's basically wash, rinse, repeat at this point. Everything's all laid out, templated. They sort of hand it over to the host department, and then we run with it and make it happen. Yes, thank you.
Deputy Mayor?
Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
Worship. I lost track. So there are no Camp Mollies, like Wasagan really are basically the two closest ones.
So they ran in 2025. I've had a sneak peek of what the schedule looks like for 2026. So we're tentatively on there for July 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, the 4 days. Happens over a Thursday to a Sunday. The next closest, Orangeville, is looking to host. And then the other locations were not within this area.
Okay. So they're not all set on one particular date, or?
No, so they run in regions. So yeah, only one Camp Molly runs per Camp Molly time.
Okay. No, and that, it just gets into our full recruitment. So right now we have Tiny, Penetang. When we do recruitment for our own brigade, basically that's what we're going to be opening up to.
Thank you, through the chair. Yes, we recruit together with the North Simcoe municipalities. Obviously, as they're alluding to, we would prioritize the Tay Township area. If they were outside of Tay Township, just the exposure alone, that the other chiefs that are mentioning, that the exposure alone brings people forth in the next generation to come out and at least try to join the Tay Township fire departments in general locally. And as Stephanie had said, that the Wasaga Beach, when they did reach out, they actually reached out to somebody in Victoria Harbor. A young lady lives on John Deligno who's coming out next year to apply to the department. So even though Wasaga was the area, somebody was lucky enough locally to get into that, and they're coming forward next year when they are of age.
No, it sounds great. Like, believe me. Yeah, I guess I'm just getting in what other municipalities like.
Yeah.
And basically the 10,000 is a guarantee to ensure that we can put this off. We may not end up having to use that because of donations or whatever.
Correct. Yes. Yes. My goal would be that none of us have to pay anything and that we get full donations and sponsorship across the board. This is just to ensure that if something was not to come through, that we had the financial viability to run it.
Good.
Yep.
Councillor Bumstead, please.
Thank you, through the chair. Thank you for your presentation, Stephanie. To your knowledge, has any other municipality funded this program?
Again, just being part of only 2 as a volunteer, I know that Wasaga Beach's council was a huge supporter of their Camp Molly, which happened in 2025. They did something similar to what we're asking of you, is sort of make that initial sort of support, saying, hey, we will support you if you need it. And again, they raised the money, and you'd have to talk to town council in Wasaga Beach on how much they ended up having to put forward, but I don't believe it was very much. And the town councils actually got to see the campers participating, and then also participated in the graduation, so it was a really nice tie-in.
Right, okay, thank you.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. First, to work together, why 10,000 for Tay and only 5,650 for the academy?
As a small business, that is at this point what we are able to provide as subsidy. Again, neither of us would hopefully have to pay anything, but as a small business from Southwest Fire Academy sponsoring it, that's sort of what was viable for us.
And 10,000 for us is quite a commitment in these times with the demands that we do have.
Yes, understood.
And 35 approximately. And we do run our own day camp. You're aware of that.
I'm not familiar with that, sorry, no.
So once the pre-service training, you provide the pre-service training.
Yes, sir.
And how much do the participants pay for that?
Our pre-service program for the vocational side of the program, so when they come in and they go through our program, it's just under $10,000.
Per person?
Yes.
Okay. And it is restricted to female or non-binary?
Yes, that's correct.
So a male can't participate?
No.
Okay. Okay, I think that's everything I had. So thanks very much for your delegation. We will give it consideration and let you know.
That's great. Thank you so much again. I appreciate your time. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, Council, that brings us to our consent list. Madam CAO, we have a change with respect to the consent list.
Thank you, Mayor Walker. Yes, as indicated earlier by Councillor Raymond, there is a declaration on one of the items. So I can read you the modified resolution for your consideration. So that the consent list for December 10th, 2025 and the recommendations contained therein be adopted as resolutions of council, with the exception of item 5.1 from the Committee of the Whole meeting minutes being December 10th, 2025.
Okay, Council, any concerns with that? Mover, Councillor Norris, Deputy Mayor Norris, and seconded by Councillor Lerma. Okay, to move and second? All in favor? That is carried. Madam CAO?
Thank you, Mayor Walker. And then the remaining recommendation is a little bit longer, if you'll bear with me. That item PDS 2025-049 dated December 10th, 2025 regarding an application for a zoning bylaw amendment and draft plan of subdivision 6424, 6474, 6462 Highway 93 be received, and that the zoning bylaw amendment and draft plan of subdivision respecting 6424, 6474, 6462 Highway 93 be approved on the basis that the applications are consistent with the provincial planning statement and conform to the County of Simcoe official plan and the Township of Tay official plan and represent good planning for the reasons outlined in PDS 2025-049, and that the related bylaw be brought forward for consideration during this evening's meeting.
Council, any concerns there? Same mover and seconder, Norris and Lerma. Okay. All in favor? That is carried. That brings us to staff reports, which we do not have any. Delegation follow-up already, and that's the Fire Academy comments. I have a few to make. Councillor Raymond.
I only have one. I'm just curious, we do the recruitment as part of Tay, Tiny, Midland, Penetang. I would have thought maybe a Camp Molly along those same lines would have been probably a bit more, open and just better.
Yeah.
So that's my only observation on that. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Bumstead.
Through the chair?
Yes.
I think it's a really nice idea, but I don't think our township should be funding for-profit functions. We could set a precedent very easily and have all kinds of for-profit businesses coming looking for handouts, so I would be opposed to any funding for this at all.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Your Worship, and I fully support it. It's a great way to recruitment, introduces firefighting. Granted, it is for the females at this point. I guess I look at where the bank in this particular case should they not be able to make, the donations and everything else. So nothing's there to say that they won't raise enough donations. I think in all likelihood they would, even if there comes, I know it says it's free. You could have a monetary, what would you call that, monetary fee for each camper. And saying that, and once again, it's the retention, maybe we can hit up on Tiny and Penetang and them to help back it. But I think it's a great idea, like I say, it introduces, to the firefighting. Looking forward, we rely on volunteers. So it's a good introduction for it, and so I support it.
Okay, thank you. Councillor LaChapelle, please.
Yeah, through the chair, I concur with Councillor Bumstead said. I'm probably having difficulty, and don't think I'm a sexist or racist, but we're talking about our youth in Tay. When I see that we're not including young men, we're focused on ladies, I just don't know that. I mean, I have a hard time with that component of it. And I look at the age group of these people, it's no different than any other. I like the idea of introducing the program. But why should we pay for it? Because I have no idea where these kids, it's like going to school, grade 10 or 11. Nobody knows where they're going to be when they hit grade 12 and 13. So you're introducing to what it, and to me that's, I do have difficulty with that component part. I couldn't support this. And for the reason she said, and I just don't like the whole format. I understand that, creating women, but there's enough women in the system now. I have a hard time when you leave out men too, that's all, young boys. I mean, if we're gonna focus on our youth, we just don't have females. So don't correct me as a sexist here, but I do have a problem with this, and I can't support it.
Okay, from my perspective, I can't support it either. And I'm disappointed that this didn't come to council before, where it says the Southwest Fire Academy and Tate Township Fire Department have decided to team up. This never came to council. There's no consultation with council about us teaming up. And then they approach us for funding. So I'm very disappointed the way this has been brought to council. Puts us in an awkward position, which we probably could have stopped had it come to us sooner. As Councillor LaChapelle mentioned, it's restrictive, dependent on sex, which I don't think is appropriate. We provide our own day camp, and I believe there's a fee for our day camp. Is that right, Madam CAO?
Yes,
This
there
one is free. So there's no monetary responsibility for those applying. Also, it's not restricted to Tate Township residents, so why are the fire departments in Tiny, Penetang, and Midland not being approached on this before it gets to this table? And the $10,000 amount, to me, is very high. That's an awful big commitment for this municipality, considering the expenses that we do pay for fire and how we know that this budget is going to be an issue for us. And here we are asking for another $10,000. Secondly, or thirdly, or fourthly, wherever I'm at, the people that decide that they want to be in fire are going to have to go at some point, if they want to be professionals, to probably Southwest Fire Academy, where they will pay $10,000 a person for the training. It just seems to be very one-sided. I think that's all the points I had, but I just think that at this point, $10,000 for this program, the way it's set up, and fact that we're the only ones being asked to fund it, of the municipalities that could benefit, I don't think it's appropriate. Those are my comments. Councillor LaChapelle.
Yes, through the chair, I'm assuming then, and we won't defer this or give direction for budget purposes, so I'm assuming there'd be a motion to not accept this, or how do we proceed, Your Worship, in putting this to vote to this membership up here, this council?
Well, a member of council could ask.
I will, please.
Move in the motion. Okay, just before you do, the other point I wanted to make is the point that Councillor Bumstead made about them being a business.
Yes.
And a small business. So Petrov's comes to us some year and says, we'd like to start a mechanics day camp.
Correct.
Because you guys hire mechanics, or a truck driver day camp, because you guys hire truck drivers, and we want you to spend $10,000. I think it would be a pretty quick no. So I just think it could set a terrible precedent for us. Councillor LaChapelle, you're moving the motion?
Yes, Your Worship.
Seconder?
The motion to not to,
Participate
Oh.
financially.
yes, do not to provide a financial contribution to this camp, Molly camp.
Seconder? Councillor Lerma? All in favor? Opposed? Sometimes I shake my head. Okay, moving along. Correspondence received, none. Notices of motion, none. Council announcements. Councillor Raymond, please.
Thank you, Your Worship, and I'm going to get the jump on everybody. Talk about tree lighting, Christmas tree lighting event. It was an enormous success. The amount of people that showed up this year was just crazy. And I'm only an occasional volunteer. I don't have anything to do with youth group. But I'm going to tell you, watching them put this thing together, and it's so second nature to them now when they run events. And it just seems so positive. So kudos to them. And it was a great affair. The other thing I wanted to mention, and I have to apologize again, is a last-minute bug. I had to pull myself out of participating in the Tay Parade, which is another Christmas parade, which is another thing I like participating in. I did look at all the pictures and saw some of the social media feedback after, and it looks like another successful event. We do really like to celebrate Tay Township in this town. Thank you, Your Worship. That was it.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Worship, and just a few things,
Your mic.
over.
Can you hear him, Andrea?
No?
I shut you. Barry. I shut you off.
Ho, ho, ho. Dear, that was a classic. So lots of festivities, since November's council meeting, tree lighting, the first light, got to go with the mayor. I did attend another tree lighting up in Georgian Bay, put on by Segbay and the Georgian Bay Historical Society. They've really done a bang-up job up at Brissette House, so if anybody gets the opportunity to drive up to have a look. Other than that, just big kudos out to all the residents that have their Xmas light displays out. That looks great. The other thing, I did attend the Waypoint Leadership Forum today, just an update on what's going on at Waypoint. They were successful in 20 additional acute beds. They're still running their RTMS programs. What else have I got here? And the other one, they've, I think it's the first in the province, it's a mental health at home program. evidently that's quite a success. Lots of partnerships going on. Other than that, the only other thing, many thanks to the roads department. They've been doing a bang-up job. You know, they keep our roads clear. But I mean, just to be mindful to residents, their primary function is to clean the road. We're not dumping snow in driveways. We're not dumping snow on your property. That's still our property. You access the driveway. That's up to them to keep it clean. So do pass on my thanks, Sean. And other than that, Your Worship, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor. I just had a few things I wanted to follow up with remarks from Council Raymond on the, first of all, the Wabashing Santa Claus Parade. Thanks to Michelle and all the sponsors, volunteers, and participants. It was really well attended this year, even though it was a little bit on the rainy side. But they had a super participant and viewer turnout this year, so everything went well. Tree lighting at Talbot Park. As Councillor mentioned, a fantastic turnout this year. I think it was the largest ever. And we wanted to thank Port McNicoll Youth Activity Group for the super job. Township staff, Port McNicoll Fire Department, Tay Libraries, Portorama, Port McNicoll Lions Club, Thunder Baseball, Victoria Harbour Legion, Shelley MacArthur, and the Planter Ladies. And a special thanks to Daisy and Josie for helping me with the tree lighting this year. Dropped into the Old Fort Fire Hall yesterday for the annual Tay Toys truck unloading and toy distribution for various groups and organizations in Tay and surrounding municipalities. Many thanks to Wayne Coombs and his group of volunteers. There must have been 30 volunteers at least there helping unload the tractor trailer full of toys. And that group would have been working again today doing the actual distribution of the toys to various groups. Had an opportunity to chat with Mr. Thompson for a few minutes. He came up again this year. And there's a video actually out there of, I thought that we were the only ones, but actually this is all over Canada that he does this, in up to the Arctic and everything else. So we're going to try to get a hold of that video so we can show you at some point. And the only other thing was to wish staff and council a Merry Christmas. Happy, healthy 2026. Thanks for all your hard work and support this past year to make Tay such a great place to work, live, and play. Thank you. Councillor LaChapelle.
Yeah, through the chair, I just want to make a point, maybe pat Tay Township on the back, in regards to, you know, the Tay tree lighting ceremony. With the, and you did touch on all the people that volunteered, and kudos to Tay Township, the residents, the staff here in this council. I look at the past year, the amount of things that this corporation does to make us a better community, and maybe some of our surrounding municipalities ought to take our lead and see what we do. I think it's fabulous. I mean, you're right, the amount of people there that day, but I go to the schools that come here, I do the Oakwood when they bring the equipment out, even our Tee Off with Tay event. It just shows who's Tay proud. And I want to send my kudos to thanks to everybody that's involved, and that includes the residents because they did participate. So I want to pat ourselves on the back. We are the leaders in North Simcoe for these type of activities. I don't see them any place else within the municipalities. So once again, thanks to all, the residents, staff, and this council for being leaders in community pride. I love it. So, and it's great to be here and be part of it. And as you said, Merry Christmas to all the staff, our residents, and everybody have a safe and joyous holiday.
Thank you, Councillor LaChapelle. Okay, that brings us to closed session, which we have none. Closed session reporting, of course, we have none. Bylaws. So, Madam CAO, there will be a different motion here. I'll let you read it out.
Thank you, Mayor Walker. So again, related to the declaration earlier in the meeting, we have separated the two bylaws. So the first recommendation before you is that bylaw number 2025-40, being a bylaw to prohibit the use of extreme terrain vehicles and off-road motorcycles on municipal highways, be enacted as a bylaw for the Township of Tay.
Councilor Raymond? Oh, okay, I was going to, okay, I was going to say Councilor Raymond and Councilor LaChapelle. Anyone have any concerns? All in favor? That is carried. Thank you.
Thank you. And the second one, that bylaw number 2025-47, being a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw 2000-57 by rezoning a portion of the lands being described as Concession 1, OS Part Lot 75, municipally known as 6462 Highway 93, from the Village Commercial C1 zone to the Open Space OS zone.
Council, any concerns? Councilor LaChapelle and Councilor Bumstead, mover and seconder. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. I think that carries the bylaws, Madam CAO?
Yes.
Okay, that moves us along to item 15, our confirmation bylaw. I have a motion moved by Councilor Bumstead and seconded by Councilor Deputy Mayor Norris, that bylaw 2025-46, being a bylaw to adopt the proceedings of the December 10th, 2025 council meeting, be enacted as bylaw of Township of Tay. All in favor? That is carried, and that brings us to adjournment. Moved by Councilor Larmont and seconded by Councilor Raymond, that this regular meeting of council adjourn at 6:42 p.m. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you, staff. Thank you, council.